my readers. Welcome back to The Adulterous Whore. I'm your host, Stacey Wright. This is season 2, episode 14 of my Read Like Rory challenge. Yeah, it was an interesting week, that's for sure. I've been slacking off on my reading just a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I have a ton of work I need to do with reading and reviewing, and no time to do it, which is, it kind of sucks. But one of the books I did read this week was Heaven Breakup by Sarah Wolf. Now, I don't know if you've read this book. I literally saw the book on Book Outlet. It had sprayed edges, so I grabbed it. Well, I don't like to read my sprayed edge books. I like to keep them pristine so they can just be my pretty trophies on the shelf. But I just finished it yesterday, the audiobook from Libby, and it was a really different read. Like, this girl, she should have died with her mother, and I think she is a bastard to one of the royal lines. Well, they don't tolerate that, right? But she now wants to get revenge, and she ends up riding on this beast, Heavenbreaker, and she has to compete in these jousts. Every time she wins, someone dies, okay? That's basically the gist of the story. But there's something inside the thing that she's riding, and she's seeing memories and flashes of things that she shouldn't be seeing. And honestly, it took a little while to get going, but by the end of it, I'm like, whoa, like, it was good. It was a really good book. And then I read Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, I was hoping to get an ARC copy of this book, didn't, so I had to wait to get an audio copy from the library. And it's basically about these females wanting to join NASA to the first female mission that includes women. So it's set in like the 80s, I think, and two of the people, like, they fall in love, two of the women fall in love, and it's them trying to navigate their want for their careers over their love for each other. NASA doesn't want to know about it. NASA is not interested in that, right? So it was really good. It was like a little heartbreaking in some spots, but I always find with Taylor Jenkins Reid that she tends to do that. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was going to end differently, and I was ready to, like, throw my headphones, like, away from me. But actually, it ended nice enough for me that I did not launch my headphones across my room. I read Beach Reads and Deadly Deeds by Alison Brennan. Now, this one was really funny. This woman, she works for this big company, and they've given her a promotion. They want to put her name on the door and whatnot. And they force her to take a holiday on this remote island, like, as a, congratulations, when she just wanted the cash. But she's like, I hope I meet somebody to have sex with, and, like, things that she hasn't been doing because she's been middle-aged since she started working there. She's been work. But somebody dies, and she can't help but get involved in the mystery, and she's a big reader, and there's all this stuff going on the island. I actually really enjoyed it. Now, I don't normally like my romance-y reads to be so mystery-based, but I actually enjoyed the crap out of that one. And that was pretty much my reading week. Now, normally I've got 5 or 6 books, and sometimes 7, and I have to cut some out because I don't like this episode to be particularly long. I'm sure you enjoy that too, like a little quick session and gone. I'm surprised I don't have more to share with you, but I've got so much reading to do, and honestly, trying to find the time to fit it in right now is proving quite difficult. But I did manage to read my Read Like Rory book, and it was dun 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 Anna Karenina. If you know anything about books, you've probably heard of this book at some point. Yeah, I'm going to tell you roughly what it's about. Okay, so what is Anna Karenina about? So Anna is a socialite. She is already married and she has a child. And what happens is she starts this raving affair with a count. And he wants her to go be with him, leave her husband to go be with him. Her husband is a senior government official. Their marriage is pretty bland. For the time, this is pretty common for wives to be really unhappy in their marriages because their husbands are, doing what husbands do. And she leaves, and she leaves her kid too. But she has, like, trouble making friends. So when she returns back to Russia, she suffers isolation and being shunned, basically. And the guy that she cheated on with and left with, the count, gets to just live his life because that's how that works, right? Men get the free pass, but she becomes more possessive and paranoid because obviously she he's a cheat, she's a cheat. Like, obviously this happens, right? But then you also have this parallel story of Levin, a country landowner who wants to marry Kitty, sister to Dolly, and sister-in-law to Anna's brother. So, and then it's their story about what's happening in their marriage. Now, it covers so many topics. I don't know why you would try and cram so much into one book, but it was 900 pages, so maybe that was why. So, why do I think Rory enjoyed this book? Now, it delves into a lot of universal human experiences like love and loss, jealousy, and the search for the meaning of life. Anna's affair and Levin's philosophical quest and Dolly's struggles with family will literally cover a multitude of different readers being able to connect with the story. And I wonder if that's really what Tolstoy was up to. You know what I mean? I wonder if it was literally because he wanted to include characters that most of his readers could find a way to connect with. Now, there's a lot of character-driven narrative in the book. So we get to see a lot of things from the characters' mindsets, what makes them happy, what makes them sad, and it makes them relatable in a really natural way. And I think that's why Rory enjoyed it so much, because it was really easy to find somebody to connect to on a deeper level. Now, the book intertwines with the two stories for the two different couples, and it did give the story more depth because each couple and each person within that coupling were dealing with very different circumstances. And I think that would have been something that Rory would have really enjoyed, with seeing the differences between a man and a woman, husband and wife, class divides, that kind of thing. Anna Karenina tends to provide a very vivid picture of what the Russian society would have looked at during the 1870s. And that might also be something that Rory really would have enjoyed. Tolstoy had this really clever way of writing in such that he basically criticizes the social hierarchy for its hypocrisy and rigid social norms. So I think that might well have been something else that Rory really enjoyed about the book. Now, honestly, I think this is why Rory may well have liked it, but there's a lot of things that are covered in the book that are timeless topics. It wouldn't have mattered when you were reading it. These things are all still very relevant. Now, this is something I did enjoy too. Like, the prose was really clear and precise, and it had this ability to strike real emotion into you just at the right time. The timing was really well done. So I think the structure and the character development would have been something that Rory really would have enjoyed well. I think it would have been something that she really connected with as a reader. But what did I think of it? Um, well, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a major fan. It was too long. I think 900 pages full of melodrama is far too much melodrama. And I'm not even joking. I literally think that Tolstoy could have cut over half the book out and it still would have been more than enough melodrama for one book. I'm a classics reader. I do enjoy my classics. I've read hundreds and hundreds of them over the years through choice, not because I was forced to, but because I really enjoy classic literature. And the second half of the book just wasn't necessary. I think that could have ended it right around page 400 and it would have been more than enough. And I think that the book would have still resonated really loudly with readers. And I think it would have done just as well. The prose was phenomenal. I'm not going to lie. He is a very, very gifted writer. But Levin, no, I wish he wasn't in the book at all. Every time I saw that it was him in the book, I literally shuddered. Like I audibly groaned. Like, that's how much I wished this character did not exist. Now, I started out reading the book because I do own a copy of Anna Karenina. I have tried in the past to read it, but it's one of those books where if you don't sit down and really concentrate, you don't know what's going on. I'm not even joking. Like, some of the conversations between the characters were really unnecessary. It felt very padded. So I had, not for right now, at least 3 times, and each time I started from the beginning, I got a little further, but this time around, I was determined. I was determined to read this for you guys, but I did end up switching to the audiobook at around about the 220 page mark, I think, because I couldn't. I really couldn't, because I felt like Tolstoy had his icy mitt around my throat and was slowly choking the life out of me with his dribble. Like, I'm not even joking, okay? It felt like a slow death by Russian literature. So I thought maybe switching to the audiobook where I could speed it up would help. And honestly, I had to read along with the book for some of it too, because I don't know, there was just something about it. I was just like, meh. It was like it was bouncing out, like in and out. Like I was already forgetting what was going on. So it really helped to do the tandem reading with the audiobook and reading it myself to kind of get more clarity on what was going on. But my biggest problem was I don't understand why people see Anna Karenina as a heroine. She's a cheat. She abandoned her child because her marriage was lousy. Welcome to marriage, honey. We've all been there where we've been in lousy marriages. That does not give you the right to run away and leave your child. So I don't know. Like, women were always lesser creatures back then. And to some extent, I guess we still kind of are in the eyes of some men. But she abandoned her whole life for a man. And I don't see that as being heroic at all. So I don't see the appeal. It was, I don't know. I kind of felt a little cheapened by it. Like Tolstoy was doing us a really disservice by talking about women in this fashion. And she literally felt like the remorse part of it didn't feel genuine. And that really irritated me, okay? So what did she do when things got a little hard because she couldn't live with her decision? She unalived herself. I'm sorry. I don't see the appeal. I really don't. And I'm not saying that women who think that she's a heroine don't know what they're on about, but I didn't see it. I didn't get it. It didn't resonate for me in the slightest. And just to add some clarity, I don't have a lot of love for authors who write about women from their ivory towers with silver spoons wedged firmly up their assholes. How can he know what it's like to be a woman? He's a man for a start. And how can he write about commoners when he is a rich man? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I wasn't a fan. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a fan, and I really wanted to love it. I really thought before, when I didn't connect with the story, I thought maybe this was a me thing, and no, it's the book. I just couldn't do it. And if it wasn't for the podcast, I probably would have DNF'd it, and I think that would have been my very final DNF. Now, I gave it 2 cups of Luke's coffee that were lukewarm. Okay, so that's how bad it was for me. I literally would never read this book again, and I don't care how much money someone would pay me. You couldn't pay me enough to even touch this book again. And I may even rehome my copy of Anna Karenina. I don't know. I don't know yet. That was pretty freaking bad. I don't recommend it in the slightest. I don't. Now, what book am I doing next? The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. This is a reread. It's been a long time. I'm not going to lie. I think I was in university when I read it. It wasn't for university. Somebody had lent me that copy and I read it. So this will be a reread for me, but it was a long time ago. So technically, it's going to feel like it's a brand new read because apparently my memory is shot. I really hope that you're enjoying this Read Like Rory series. I'm really hoping that eventually one of you guys will dip your toe in and come and do a buddy read with me on one of the books. There are still hundreds to go through yet. I've barely scratched the surface. There's over 400 books on that list. Some of them I just can't get, so I'm not going to drive myself nuts with that. But I'm going to do as many of them as I can. So you can literally pick the book. I can email you a list. Just send me an email to ladulterous@gmail.com, and I will send you the list that I am working from that's got over 400 books on it, and we can buddy read together. And I don't mind how many of these I do. I don't care how many people join in. I do have a group, like a book club group on Fable that you can come and join, and we can pick the books together if you would prefer. Maybe we can have a little group of us. That would be nice. So far, I'm sitting as the only person in there, and it's pretty sad. But you should come join me with that. You can find the link for that in the caption. You can also find me on Instagram at Ladulterous Whore, on TikTok at Ladulterous, Facebook at Ladulterous, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/at Ladulterous. You can find my Bookalorian, which is my book merch, Bookalorian Designs on Instagram, Bookalorian_designs on TikTok, and the Bookalorian Designs on Facebook. I don't have a channel for that. This is literally the only channel I have for my podcasting, except for the one I do with Hannah, which is youtube.com/at the toppling TBR. We will be dropping an episode of that as well, hopefully today. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm getting very behind, but I'm still having a lot of fun. Having this third podcast to record in a week is it's definitely time crunchy, but I'm really enjoying it. I hope you have the reading weekend that you deserve, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. This is Stacey Wright signing off from The Adulterous Whore. Have a great day, guys. Bye.